Hey friends, Allison Ramirez here, Christian author, editor, and content creator, here with our August liturgical calendar themes video for authors. If you've been following this channel for any number of months, you'll notice that I have been regularly talking about the themes and focus points liturgically in the church for each month of the year and giving you some advice on how you can incorporate those themes into your writing, marketing, content creation as a Christian author. Today, we're continuing that theme with the month of August. I am actually filming this on August 1st, which the past couple months you may have noticed that I released the video for that month very late in the month. That was because of my schedule and time management and actually sitting down to film the video. Today, I am ahead of the game and you will actually be getting this video earlier in the month, which will hopefully be more helpful. You'll notice I'm in a slightly new space. I'm in my office, but I am close to the door. I have this lovely cross behind me, which I actually got this cross on a pilgrimage to Fatima. This is from one of the gift shops in Fatima, which is in Portugal. Beautiful site, and where Mary has been noted to have appeared. And then it's really pretty because it almost looks like driftwood. And then it has these porcelain ceramic white flowers on the cross. Very beautiful. But anyway, without further ado, the month of August is dedicated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, which is why I also mentioned the cross. 2 months ago in June, we had the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and now in August, we have the Immaculate Heart of Mary. So this is a really good opportunity to talk about Mary, who she is, why is she important to us as Christians, especially as Catholics, because a lot of other Christian groups don't really have a strong emphasis on Mary. They don't really see Mary's value or her importance in the faith. But as Catholics, we recognize that she is the closest to Jesus. She is the best example to us of what it means to follow Jesus perfectly. We believe that Mary was without sin her entire life, thanks be to God and his grace at work in her life. And she was able to say yes fully and completely throughout all of her days. She has her beautiful fiat where she says, "Let it be done to me according to the Lord's word." She's open, she's receptive, she's trusting. She's a great example to us of the contemplative life. Many times in scripture, it mentions Mary pondering things in her heart, especially things that were confusing to her, things that she wouldn't necessarily understand, like the message of Simeon telling her that a sword will pierce her heart when she presents Jesus in the temple as an infant, or when she and Joseph lose Jesus in the temple and they're searching for him and trying to find him. So many times in her life, she really had to trust in something that she couldn't see the outcome of. She didn't understand the reasoning for. I'm sure she didn't realize or fully understand even what she was accepting when she said yes to be the mother of our Lord. Throughout her whole life, there was so much opposition, having to flee the persecution of Herod, leaving from the place of Jesus' birth in Bethlehem all the way to Egypt, just raising Jesus and what that must have been like, trusting in God and everything throughout that whole time. And of course, walking with him during his teaching years and all the miracles he performed, and even at the foot of the cross, witnessing his death and his resurrection. Mary is a beautiful mother to us. She desires to be our own mother, to model a life of virtue for us, a life of holiness, and ultimately to point us closer to her son. That is the goal of Mary. The goal of Mary is always never to point us to herself. She is the most humble. She's always pointing us to Jesus and drawing us closer to him as a mother would. Mothers that, of course, love their sons. And yeah, Mary's no different, of course. And so that's a really important theme. What does it mean to have an immaculate heart, right? Immaculate meaning beautiful, unstained, perfect heart, totally open and receptive to God. What does that look like in Mary's life, and what can that look like in our lives? So those are really great themes that you can mention. I know this month I love to talk about my books on the rosary because that's very fitting as we celebrate Mary this month. I love to share about my devotionals, which help readers grow closer to Mary. There's 4 books out. They're each on a set of mysteries of the Rosary: joyful, sorrowful, luminous, and glorious mysteries, with beautiful themes of flowers and gardens. So feel free, if you've written something related to Mary, whether it's a book, whether it's an article, a blog post, feel free to repost it or share about it this month. Okay, and then now going into the particular feast days. Again, beautiful traditions in the church is that almost every day of the year there is a feast that we are celebrating. And so if there is something relevant to the lives of these saints that you want to talk to your readers or your audience with, you can certainly do that. So August 4th, we celebrate Saint John Vianney, which is a patron saint for priests. So this is a great opportunity to share about the beauty and the goodness and the necessity of the priesthood. Why are priests important? Why we should pray for our priests. August 6th, we have the Feast of the Transfiguration, which is a beautiful scene. Actually, in the Rosary, we find this in the Luminous Mystery, where Jesus takes Peter, James, and John up a mountain and they see his glory. He's transfigured before them. So what does it mean to journey with God up a mountain? What does it mean to behold his glory and his majesty? Recently, I was very blessed to be able to attend a young adult hike at my parish, and we hiked up a mountain, and our parish priest said mass at the top of this beautiful lookout site, and it was setting up for mass was a bit of a challenge on this literally the side of a mountain, like this rocky cleft, and we're all just sitting down, like all squished together. I guess we're just watching the mass taking place, and yeah, it was something else, but it was so beautiful and having that gorgeous view behind us. And it was actually the feast of Saint James, who was one of the ones that journeyed with Jesus up the mountain to the Transfiguration. So that was really fitting as well. Yeah, so the beauty of finding God in nature as well. You could certainly share that, especially in these summer months here. It's month of August. Okay, August 9th, we have the feast of Teresa Benedicta of the Cross. August 10th, we have the feast of St. Lawrence. August 11th, the feast of St. Clare. This feast of St. Maximilian Kolbe. This is another really awesome saint to talk about. You may have heard the story of he was a priest who was in Auschwitz during the persecution of the Jews during World War II with the Nazis, and there was a starvation bunker of 10 men that were randomly selected to die, and he was not selected, but he actually decided to take the place of one of the 10 men who was selected and ultimately gave his life there, doing that ultimate sacrifice on behalf of another person. Ooh, August 15th, this is an awesome one. We celebrate the Feast of the Assumption of Mary. I believe this is a solemnity, which is the highest feast day in the church. And basically, we're celebrating the church teaching of Mary being taken up into heaven, body and soul. So, this belief that she did not undergo physical corruption and decay of death, she actually was taken up into heaven, which Jesus was ascended into heaven, body and soul. And so the church teaches that because Mary was without sin, that she would not undergo the decay of death. And so because of that, we celebrate the destiny of Mary in this way, and actually the destiny of all of us to be one day reunited again with our bodies in heaven is also a teaching of the church. So the beauty of both body and soul, and what that Assumption of Mary tells us about the importance of body and soul. Those are themes you could certainly talk about this month in your writing, your marketing, your evangelization as a Christian author. Okay, August 20th, we have the Feast of St. Bernard. August 21st, we have the Feast of St. Pius X. August 23rd, we have the Feast of St. Rose of Lima. August 24th, we have the Feast of St. Bartholomew the Apostle. August 27th, we have the Feast of St. Monica, who was the mother of St. Augustine, another really well-known saint. And of course, fittingly, the next day, August 28th, we celebrate, as I just mentioned, her son, St. Augustine, who has a pretty epic story. Yeah, so those are some really noteworthy feast days in the month of August. We're continuing through ordinary time and continuing into the months of summer. And I know for me, I can speak in my own life. I talked about this on my recent podcast episode, but I have started writing a new fiction book. And I'm not going to share the title, but the main characters, they're two young adults named Esther and Ezekiel. This is likely going to be a standalone fiction novel, but the reason this is so exciting is because I have been in a fiction writing slump for several years, and fortunately, I still have to finish I shouldn't say unfortunately, but I have been dragging my feet at finishing my third and final fiction book in the Divided Kingdom trilogy, which I'll put up here, The Return. So I'm sorry to those of you who have been waiting for the book to come out. I have been waiting for inspiration, because every time I sit down to write, it's like this doesn't go anywhere, the story. So I have started on a new story in hopes of getting the creativity flowing again and just to be writing again and getting back into that habit. And then hopefully, God willing, I will return to the return and get that out sometime next year. And then I mentioned also I've been working on writing rosary meditations for this new prayer app that's coming out next year, which I'll put the link below for that too. Still working on editing projects. So if you are an author looking for an editor, book editor, feel free to reach out to me. My website is trinitystreepublishing.com. And of course, please can subscribe and follow this YouTube channel if you want more content for Christian authors, especially things related to self-publishing as a Christian author, particularly. Yeah, and I have a newsletter as well, Trinity Tree Books, which I put out free content over there, as well as on my podcast, The Work of Thy Hands. So lots of free ways to stay connected and to get helpful content so we can support one another on this journey as Christian creatives. And as always, know that you're in my prayers. Please pray for me. And yeah, I will see you in the next video in September. Bye for now. God bless.